Alisalimia na kakula. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hiya. So Fabi.
Yeah,
very.
He started with laughter.
I'm telling you. So hi guys, welcome back to TJ Talk. And today I'm with Njeri. And she is what we would call a savior and a mommy to many. But let me not steal her thunder. Let her introduce herself and what she does. And then we'll take it from there.
My name is Njeri, normally known as Njeri Migwi. Mama Rescue, they call me.
Okay.
I run an organization known as Usikimye. Usikimye is an organization that deals with sexual and gender-based violence. That we try as much as possible to rescue survivors. We don't call them victims. We call them survivors from issues resulting in that. So when I talk about that, do you want me to tell you what it encompasses?
Yeah, sure.
When you talk about sexual violence, we're talking about rape, molestation, defilement, sodomy, all those, anything that is violence that pertains to sex. Yeah, so anything that is sexual assault. And that means sex that is done without consent.
Okay.
Yeah? And then in regards to gender-based violence, we're looking at domestic violence, intimate partner violence, violence that happens to you because of your gender.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're actually at what we call the safe house. We call it a safe house.
Yes.
Yes, it's a safe house, a shelter where she actually brings the survivors. That is the women, the boys, the children, basically anybody who's been through this to come and actually have a safe haven. So what
We don't
makes
bring men,
you?
though.
Oh, no men.
No men, but we take boys,
Okay.
but no men, because
Okay.
it's how women move
Yes.
in various forms of. So we take men to shelters for men.
For men, okay,
If
yeah.
they are there.
Okay, if they're there. We'll have to check on that, by the way. Boy child problem. We might have to ask him just.
It's okay.
So you heard some noise in the background. They basically do get a lot of donations, and somebody has actually decided to put for them curtains. Yeah, so you can catch the flow. Eventually, you can also, we'll tell you how you can actually give to the shelter. So what made you start the shelter? Or how did your story begin? Where did it start from?
My story starts in that I'm a survivor too.
Oh.
Yeah. I did.
Oh.
Did you see that big young man?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my son.
That's your firstborn?
That's my first one.
Wow.
One long time ago when I was really young, when I got him, I was 15. So
Okay.
it's a long story.
Yeah.
I didn't think 40 that would carry on. The awkward.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, like, when you said you just turned 40, happy belated birthday again, by the way.
Thank you.
But I'm like, yeah, then I saw the guy, I was like,
Hey, what's happening?
that's a bit of a big boy.
Yeah. So it's always, it's very, he normally tells me this is so awkward when he go places and he calls me mom and everyone is like, come on. Like even when he was young, then he grew, then high school, and you know, all those bad jokes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He told me, I'm hoping that as you grow older, things will change, but they're not changing.
I'm
Like, I'm sorry, it is what it is. But yeah, I met his dad when we were pretty young, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things didn't work out as they should. And he was pretty working. I was not. I come from a regular background. And when I left, I had nowhere to go.
You were 15?
No, I didn't leave when I was 15.
Yeah.
I left when I was 29. I was with him for that long.
Oh, okay.
So our marriage was very volatile.
Okay.
Especially it was very volatile.
Okay.
I am hard of hearing on this side. I lost my ear in one of those altercations. I was hit so hard I lost hearing on one side.
What?
Yeah, so it's not big. I mean, it's 10 years ago.
10 years ago, I mean, but still, you can't hear from it, so still, it's a big deal.
I think we decided we were not meant for. We didn't decide, I left.
Yeah.
To be very honest, I just woke up one day and I said, you know what? This is not it. This isn't it for me, and I'm leaving. And I left. I had nothing, literally.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked from extreme wealth to extreme poverty. Because literally I think I had 20,000. I rented like a small house for myself and started living. This is where you know that little money cannot take you anywhere. When you don't have a proper job, because we used to work together. I used to run his companies, so that's how bad it was. So from up here to down there. And There was nowhere to go, and I was too embarrassed to go back home.
Oh.
For me, I had a home to go back to, but one, my parents were never pro this marriage.
Okay.
They were never pro any of this.
Yeah.
And I'd been estranged from them for a while. So I was too embarrassed to go back home and tell them, look, I failed.
I failed,
And, yeah, you were right all along. And because I remember, even when I ran away to go and get married, they came and got me and told me.
Oh, you ran away to get married?
Yes.
Oh, so there's already a problem.
And they're like, nah, yes,
it's not going down right.
You're going back to school, whether you like it or not. I remember they came with police and said, well, she has to go back to school. So I went back to school. Then I ran away again. You know that? So you can imagine, you can see how me and my parents
whenever eye to eye per se.
Yeah, and even when the violence occurred, my dad told me, Njeri, come back home. I don't think you are a child. What do you know about what? But I was set to prove to him. Yeah, wrong. Like,
I can do this.
I can do this. And then having been that my dad raised me by himself. I don't know. I had this idea in my head of a happily ever after. You know, I wanted a
whole complete.
I don't understand where that came from because my dad raised me in love and security.
Yeah.
But as I grew up, I started, like I was a teenager when I started noticing people have mothers and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And it affected me deeply. So I wanted a structured home.
Yeah.
So I held on to the idea that a home should have a father and a mother and children.
Yeah.
And so the home apparently turned out to be very hard. You can imagine.
Wow, so that's where it began.
That's where it began.
I was expecting a totally different story. I'm sorry. But now you can laugh about it.
I don't even talk about it.
Oh, wow.
Mostly I'm like, that happened and it's what under the bridge.
But you know, it's good for you to give your story because it also empowers people out there who are either going through it or who have gone through it and don't think that there's actually hope thereafter. That's what usually happens because guys are like, okay, I'm in my own small cocoon. Same thing, you don't want to go home or there's nowhere to turn to.
Or there's something that has been happening lately where you're not welcome home.
Yes, you're an outcast now.
You're not welcome home. Like your parents tell you, usikuja nyumbani ya mama yako, sio yako. Or you find your brothers don't want you because you're a threat to them. I don't know. We have so many dynamics that enable women not to go back home. There is shame. There is stigma. There is you not being welcome home. There is a dynamics of land. And there's so many dynamics that are involved in women not being able to have a place where they can go.
Okay.
Yeah, especially home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you are coming home with children.
Oh yeah, true.
Take care of
that's
them.
another mouth to feed already struggling as
now
it is.
Now you're those are mouths. Assume even if you have one child, these are two mouths.
Yes.
And you need a place to heal, not a place to be condemned. Just this month, I think, or end of last month, a woman in Limuru, she went back home and her mother gave her fare to go back to her husband. And she opted to just jump in her dam. Her and her two children, that's how they died. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this was, so you can see the dynamics of not being able to go are very complex.
Yeah, but I wonder why do people do that? Because you know, it's not the first case I've heard of where somebody's being beaten. There's a lady I know whose hand was broken, I think hand and leg.
Yes.
And she went back to her mom and mom was like, so, how do you think we're going to take care of you now?
Exactly.
Can you go back to
him? And this is a problem. It's a problem. Most mothers don't want their divorce process coming back home. We need to understand that as a society, that would you rather your child is divorced or dead?
True.
What do you want coming back home?
Yeah,
a dead corpse or a divorced daughter? Because the way things are being pushed and the way we make fun of domestic violence is that women are dying, literally. We had 169 cases last year of femicide. When we say femicide, is women dying due to intimate partner violence, domestic violence, a girlfriend, a wife who have been killed, literally, in this country.
I remember there was that case of the guy who drove from Fika all the way to Eldoret with a panga and an axe in the car for 7 hours.
Yes.
Usually I tell guys
in 7 hours he had time to change his mind.
Yeah.
But he didn't change his mind because he felt he was entitled to her.
Yeah.
And then us as a society, what did we do? We started making fun about the whole situation.
I saw there were songs, Shoka, and one was like...
And I was like, this is ridiculous. We cannot make such jokes.
Yeah.
You cannot take somebody's life because you gave her 10,000. There are mechanisms of getting your money back.
Yeah.
You could go to the police and report. But killing people, that was a young doctor. Mangeshi was a young doctor, and she died. She died because somebody felt entitled to her life. Understand?
So that's actually more of, it's a psychological problem, actually. So
I would want to say it's a psychological problem, but the instances that it is happening in, I want to say it's a normalization of society. It is society normalizing. It is okay for women to be beaten, to be disenfranchised. It is okay for women to be property. Because they're only, this is your goat, right?
Yeah.
So if you're mad at your goat, what do you do to it? Maybe, or even if you're not mad at your goat, it's your property, right?
Yeah.
You can cut off its neck, you can do whatever you want with the goat, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same. Women and children are lumped together as though they are property, whereas these are people. Yeah. So we need to stop normalizing that. I remember 2 days ago. Was it on Saturday or Sunday? I went to take a daughter who had been beaten so badly by her dad. She was unconscious in Umoja. Badly. Mpaka wakampeleka hospitali.
Daughter beaten by her dad, not even
by her dad, yes. That's also gender violence.
Yeah.
So what happened when he beat her that badly is that when I went there, you know what he asked me? But aren't you, see, you're a mother. So if you're a mother, you understand disciplining your child.
Disciplining your child to the point the kid is unconscious.
I said, I'm a mother, but I don't beat my children. I don't beat I literally don't beat my children.
Yeah, yeah.
I've come from a background of violence. I know that violence never changes anything.
Yeah.
You beat a child when you're angry. You really haven't changed anything in that child's life. What you have done is you've just beaten that child.
Yeah.
You've taken away their right to being a person. But that's a topic for another day. It's a very volatile topic in Kenya.
Yeah.
You don't even want to start talking about it.
I mean, there's a bit where you say it's called, as far as the road is called the child, yes. But not be the child unconscious. That's, I mean, honestly,
I believe in a child.
We can actually talk.
We can actually talk it out.
Yeah.
And you can actually,
you can
believe
reason.
it or not, you can actually reason. You're an adult. When somebody hits you, does that point get home?
Actually, no,
so what makes you think that when you do that to the child, the point gets home?
Well, I think for us, it's a case of how we're brought up.
Normalization.
Yes.
You see what I mean? You've normalized. When I was talking to my grandmother before she passed on last year, my grandmother told me, we were just talking, I mean, she taught me so many things. But one of the things I came to learn from my grandmother is that children were never beaten.
Oh, they were never beaten?
No.
So
there was adequate from colonial.
Oh, the colonial. Yeah, because I remember...
it's our colonizers. Even this big spare the rod.
It's well, the child is actually from
it's
them.
It's not our thing. We never beat children.
You know, we had a swimming coach. Miss Mina, if you're watching this, when you grew older, she actually apologized. Because we asked the early coach, we're in a costume, we're on the hot floor, and we're just being, but it was everywhere, you were misbehaving. I was like, so why are you jumping? And she's like, because that's how we were taught, that's how we're going to discipline the kids. Yeah.
So the children don't grow in love, they grow in
fear. Yeah, because you're
so you're actually afraid of being beaten, not because you have actually learned the lesson that there is to learn in why you have been beaten.
Yes.
So you understand. These are the dynamics that are involved when you're looking at why have you been beaten.
Yes.
Because somebody beat you, not because you stopped doing something, not because you took the lesson, but because you are afraid.
Yes.
And that is where my not beating children comes from. I actually went, I read something and I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. It was actually a book by Dr. Stacey Patton about black children. It's a black children thing, unfortunately, that we were beaten by our colonial masters so badly. We started that transference of the behavior where the power dynamics change, so you start beating. The same to our wives.
So whoever is doing the beating has the power.
Yes, has the power.
And it's a suppression.
Exactly. A child has broken a glass. Why would you beat a child for breaking a glass?
Yeah, by the way.
Why?
Yeah, it doesn't make
what
sense.
makes you so angry about the child? And then one of the things we also do is we limit us African people. Think about it. Why is it that when your child goes a place, you want to limit them? Don't do this, don't do this. We limit their expression. We limit their creativity. Even their lessons.
Yes.
We make sure that they don't take them because we are always like suppressing it. Suppressing it. You understand? So that's a problem if you really think about it, because you limit that child. That child is not allowed to express themselves. When you go to a place, look at our children, they're always near us. Unamwangalia na macho mbaya. Utaki akimbie, utaki, you don't tell them to do things. Ask yourself, why do we do that? But look at unfortunately, as white children, They just run around without shoes and they explore the world.
Yeah.
They know their world is
It's the oyster. It's like the one we used to say when we were kids. Me, I grew up playing shags. So when you fall down or you hurt yourself, even my mother told me herself, then you don't tell your mom because you'll be champered.
You'll be beaten.
Why? Okay, can't you?
Why? Why are
so I'm
you
already in
being
pain
beaten?
for falling down.
Yes.
I'm being beaten because I'm falling down.
You've fallen down.
And kids are supposed to fall down and be clumsy. That's
That's
why
it.
they're
You're
kids.
supposed to know that if I fall down,
Yeah.
oh, next time when I do something, I don't do this because
Yes.
this is the consequence.
Yes.
So that is it. And the same is passed on to our wives. Like I'm disciplining my wife. I'm disciplining my children. It's a problem, really, if you think about it. It's a very problematic set.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an issue that needs to be addressed. Why are we disciplining people instead of teaching them in love? These children have grown up in love. They know the world is theirs.
Yes.
The other day, I got a volunteer from Spain. He's staying with us in my house, and he came today. He slept. He came in the morning. He slept. At 3, he woke up. No one was in the house. He left. He went outside. He went, found a place to eat. Ate. I mean, who does that? If I'm in a foreign country, I am definitely staying with people. I am staying in my room
yes.
because that's what I was taught.
Yes.
You sit in one space, you don't go out.
Yes.
He explored. He went to a cafe. He came back and told me he's gotten a SIM card. I'm looking at him like, dude, this is a strange one.
Yes, yes,
Like,
yes.
you know, literally, why would you even go to places
Yeah.
that, who told
Who
you?
told you can go?
I was so
You think it's
shocked.
safe? Actually,
Do you even think it's safe?
Yeah.
Like, who does that? And
even
then
us who
it's-
live here, we don't just.
Yes, we don't just
There are places
walk.
you don't just
And then
walk
it
at.
hit me. It's upbringing. He's never been told, don't
Don't.
do that. Like the world is not yours to occupy.
It's actually conditioning.
Yes. So we've
So
been
it's
conditioned
training.
not to occupy space. Be the smallest person. You go to international conference, we are the smallest people.
And yet you have the
We
sharpest minds.
shrink.
Yeah.
Yes. We shrink ourselves so much.
Oh,
And that is conditioning. That's what I'm talking about. Why do we beat our children? Why do we beat our
Oh,
wives?
man.
This now brings it back to gender violence.
Yeah.
Why is it that when you actually discipline bibi yangu?
because she's your property to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Doesn't
What
make
is that?
any
What do you
sense.
mean? You cannot have a normal conversation. If you are angry, why can't you walk away?
Actually, for me, I always say that if it's that serious, then just.
If
then-
she's
then-
screaming
then-
her head out and you feel like, now, why are you so getting? Just walk away.
Walk away, yeah.
And let her stop. When she stops screaming,
Yeah.
even tomorrow, you can come back home and sleep. And then tomorrow you wake up and be, hey, Mama Flani. See,
Yes.
now we talk.
We can talk when now.
See, now we can talk. See, we are both okay.
Yeah.
But his story that you beat her. You beat her so badly. Back and now she's dead. You beat her so badly. You've maimed her. You beat her. Yani, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time.
And there is a normalization
Yes.
of beating.
Not even beating. Last year, was it last year, but one when there was a lot of. There's a girl who is actually in committee for shooting his wife because we're having a domain or something. And then you hear another case of it's a love triangle. You hear the APs going to a camp and just shooting
Yes.
people up. And it's almost become, we forget to
We think it's culture. No, we
Yeah.
don't forget too quickly. It's become a Kenyan culture where women. It's become a Kenyan culture. If you want to know how culture starts, it's such a common thing that we don't take it like a big deal when women are raped. If we don't really look at it like a woman has been raped, like oh my god. No, it's like it's a normal thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you want to know how bad it is, I was in Juja Road, MSF Juja Road on Sunday. And as I was talking to the doctor, she told me the lady I brought is 1954. I told her 19, what do you mean? She told me on the SGBV register, she's patient 1954. I said that's 1954 cases of sexual assault that you have treated.
In Juja.
Juja Road,
Oh, wow.
MSF.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You know, it just hit me.
Yeah.
That number, and that's one facility. That's
this
crazy.
for this year alone, or
Yes, from January. And then she said, because during Corona there was a time we were closed, so the numbers are low. And I looked at her, and I was utterly horrified. For me, till today, and because I was there yesterday,
it's the closing down a hospital.
that tells you that's 1954.
Yeah.
That tells you God knows whether they are 2000. I don't even want to know.
Oh wow.
Like every time I see a number, I understand that is one more rape. So you
Yeah.
understand that society
Yes.
is very comfortable
With this,
with this.
and we've got some, from the high and mighty cases that
The
are
only
still
thing
going
that
on.
shock people now
Yeah.
are not women, are men or children. And it's so bad that girls have been raped so badly that now it's starting to look like it is normal. The only rape that shock people are rape of boys, not girls, not little girls. I'm telling you, I was in court 2 weeks ago for an 8-month-old child, a girl who had been raped, and I can't tell you how. 8 months.
8 months.
Old. She was in a baby shower, and it was the most utterly horrifying thing I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I think. I think some people it's psychological, it's a problem, but as you're saying, it's more of power, and it's just.
I want to say psychological.
Okay,
So
but you
what's
know,
that rumor for if you sleep with a virgin and you're HIV positive? that
you get cleansed of your HIV status.
Or if you can't erect properly,
Yeah.
if you rape a little girl,
Your mojo will come back.
yes.
Some serious BS.
That's the case I went to handle when you were here.
Oh
The little boy
Lord.
was molested because the man who did it wants to get his mojo back. You know, from me, I'm going to hospital, right?
Yeah.
You can see how that works.
And it's likely because we've been trying to do this, but we've been having.
There's
rescue
always a
cases, rescue
reason.
cases.
In fact, I'm in the middle of a rescue, but I had to
Yeah.
come do this so that
Yeah.
you can, you know, it wasn't that I planned it. It
No,
wasn't
I mean that's why I was like,
deliberate.
it's okay. I'll come to you. I don't
Yeah.
even come to the home, see where it is. And
Because
so,
he said I'm late.
and your day is always busy, but that's okay. And of course, this takes priority and precedence over everything. So, that being the case, and now at least you have the shelter, so you can actually bring the ladies and children here for once you've rescued them from their situations. So, how do you have a program that they'll go through to actually, get out of this, or at least be able to manage whether it's physical abuse, emotional abuse? How do you help
This
them
is
with
how
the
I
next step?
rescue. Let me just give you an example of how rescue works. We go to your house, we pick you up. Sometimes there's violence when you're trying to get either a child or a lady. We get a call. Then, if you're not so badly off, we tell you to go to the police. We come to the police and pick you up. If it's in the cases of adults who have not been so badly beaten that they need to be taken from homes. I'm avoiding homes since I was beaten.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm avoiding to meet people, especially for ladies when they call.
Yeah.
If we can even meet somewhere off the
Outside
home,
the house, yes.
that's better for me. I'll even just come back and you come down to where the car is so that I can just take you. Or then we go to the police. If there is need for you us to take you to hospital, we do that. And then in cases of where it's sexual violations, we pick you up from where you are. That one we don't take chances.
Yeah.
I come, I will enter that house
Yes.
and I will pick you up and I will take you to hospital. And then after that we go to the police to report. And based on how the person feels, you cannot force people to report.
Yes. True.
You cannot force people to report. Also, our reporting mechanism still needs work,
Okay.
a lot of work. And so we also tell people, do you want justice? We try as much as possible to try and persuade them so that we can look for justice, especially in matters of sexual violation. Those ones, we are very adamant about us looking for justice, but you also have to give the survivor the room to make a choice.
Yeah.
So after that, we bring you here. We have programs that we run here. One of the most important programs is every Friday there is therapy. We have a therapist on board. She comes in every Friday. Then they have personal therapy, one-on-one therapy, not group therapy.
Okay.
One-on-one therapy. Each person gets time. She's here for 4 hours, so that she's with one survivor. Then if you're not in this cycle, you'll be in the next cycle.
Okay.
Then we have art therapy for the children, music therapy. Yeah, so we have had someone to come and do that for them,
Okay.
so that even the children are attended to. One of the things that we've been trying to do is skill transference. That is for the volunteers who we want to come here and teach them skills, so that when they leave this place, one of the reasons we have a lot of sexual violence, and I mean gender-based violence, domestic violence, intimate partner violence, one of the root causes is poverty or lack of money, or one person has power over the other. So if we can address, let's say, the reason where you don't even have a place to go would be you don't have the skills to go outside there and make money. Let's say in places where somebody's from a low income, or even in places where you left your job, you quit your job to become a housewife. So it's always about imbalance of power. So if you quit your job to come and stay with this person Sasa, where do you go?
Yeah.
If we have rescued you, we've saved you, we realized there was a need.
Yeah.
There was a need for us to hop on and do something.
Yeah.
Whereby when the person leaves this place, they have been mentally healed, physically they're okay, financially. Otherwise they will just walk out and go right back to the place of violence where they were. So one of the things we are doing is to do empowerment programs where these women are given skills so that they can be able to take care of their children, they can be able to take care of their needs, yeah. So we do training, so basically that's it. So a person stays here with us for 3 months.
3 months.
Although depending on how badly the things are back where they're supposed to be.
Okay, and hopefully by the 3 months they'll have actually gotten a skill to at least
Yes,
help them
to
get
help them,
something. And do you have, like, is there government organizations that are helping, or is it just now it's a donor fund thing, or how does this work?
My pocket, my co-founder's pocket, she's called Stella Kachina.
Okay.
She works, you see she's not here.
Yes.
I run around, I do she works.
Okay.
So that we can make sure these people are able to eat. And able to live. Imagine I wake up every morning with 24 people who expect to eat. And all meals, we have children, we go to hospital, we have so many issues here. You have to address them and you can't, and then of course we have a platform, an Changa platform where we try and fundraise for our needs, which include the rescues as well.
Okay.
So we try as much as possible to fundraise.
Okay.
So it's basically the goodwill of Kenya and our own pockets. We don't have any donors, we don't have any grants.
Okay.
It's just us and our well-wishers.
We'll definitely share the number so that, you know, if anybody wants to actually help or support in any form or way, be it food, clothes, or anything pretty much. I mean, they've got curtains now, you know, it can be anything.
Yeah, actually people just tell us, this is what I do in Njeri, and I feel like for example, the lady who came coming, she called me and told me, Njeri, I'm an interior designer, I'm good in curtains. Can I come to your home? I was like, by all means. Then she told me, you know, I want to do curtains for you. I was like, you want to do curtains for us? Wow.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what she's doing, and it's pretty incredible how much people have just come through with whatever they have.
Then the more important question right now is if anybody watching this is going through the violence or the abuse, how do they reach out?
It's on. Somebody told me this is even worse than 999. It's always called. I'm a phone call away. Trust me, I will come.
Okay.
Yeah, my number, you have it?
Oh, yes. I shall share it.
Call us. We are here for you. We want to tell you that there is help. There is hope. Stop sitting and being worried about what will I do? How can I do? There is hope at the end of it. I told you 4 years ago I got married.
Oh, hey. Congratulations.
Someone put a ring on it.
Boom.
So, I mean, the idea that you have to be in one place and that's it. And that's your this is the entanglement of a lifetime.
So,
no. If it's not working, leave. And it doesn't have just to be about violence. If things are not working, don't let them escalate to the place of violence. Don't let them get there. I also want to say something before we finish. Can we talk about the trauma we give our children when they grow up seeing violence?
Just pause for a second.
Okay. It's still loud.
But it's better than before. Okay. Yes, let's talk about the trauma.
I think one of the things I see most people telling me is they can't leave a marriage because of the children. That has been a universal excuse. I'm staying because of the children. I want to tell you today that the trauma you give these children when you don't leave a bad marriage is worse. You might as well left. Because these children, what you're telling them, when your significant other comes and shouts at you, or he shouts back, or he hits you, what you're doing is, these children are learning that violence is equals to love. And violence is okay. You see, love is a language. There's different languages of love. So what you're showing these children is the love language is violence. Because that's what they're growing up seeing. Think about people who grew up seeing, look at us, we are this generation. We grew up assuming, that's why you hear most men saying, I want to marry my mother. But if you go back and look at what their mother was oppressed in that marriage. You know, she didn't have a place to go. She couldn't even have a bank account. She didn't have anywhere else. She didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's why our mothers, for us women, most of us, our mother tell us have a secret account. Where do you think that comes from?
Ah, yes, a stash.
Why do you think our mothers keep on telling us have a stash? They're
Have
telling
your
us
own cash.
have your own cash.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think that is so important?
Yeah.
Most girls will tell you their mothers have always told them have a secret stash. Why? Because their mothers, if your mother was so happy, why did she have a secret stash?
Yes.
Because she knew she was never safe.
Mm.
That maybe this marriage that you admire of your mother, that they've been married for 50 years, have you ever asked yourself, what are the things that your mother humiliated?
Yes.
How many times did your father beat her? Come home. How many times was your mother angry at the things that happened to her, but she couldn't express it because she had nowhere to go? How many of us know that we grew up looking at what we thought was a good marriage, but as an adult, when you look back, is when you realize, oh my God,
It was a mess.
or how many of our mothers were disenfranchised, but they covered it. Anapatia dadi school fees akupatie so that your dad is never. So you grew, yes. So there's all these things that when you look at them wholesomely, as a child, now that you're an adult, when you examine them is when you realize, oh, you were not as happy as I thought.
Yeah.
Wait, what was happening?
Yeah.
Something wasn't right.
Yeah.
And you find that now that you grew up with that, you assume that is the correct way.
Yes.
Because you are conditioned to accept that.
Yes.
So these children that you're bringing up in areas of violence, if it is a girl, she thinks that if her husband beats her, that's love. This boy that keeps on seeing the father beating the mother, he will grow up to be the next abuser.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have conditioned your children to believe. It's love.
Yeah.
And that is not love. Love shouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Love doesn't have to hurt.
Yeah.
Love should be something beautiful and special. You know? Marriage should be a place of nurturing each other and having children grow up in healthy relationships where they know they are loved and secure.
Yeah.
Children who grow up in violence are not secure. They are afraid. There's a child I removed from a bad situation. And the next time that child saw me when I went to that home, that child flinched. Yet I'm not the person who did the child, I'm the person who rescued the child. But the child was so afraid of the things that she had been going through that when she saw me, the person who removed her, she was so terrified. And when I went to her and I hugged her and I told her, I'm not here to get you.
Yeah.
She was at peace.
Wow.
Because she assumed by virtue of me coming,
There's a problem and you're coming to
and
remove
I'm coming
the
to
problem.
remove her. So these children grow up so insecure. You see? So we cannot have children growing up being insecure.
Yeah.
Your child needs to feel loved, safe. Home needs to be a safe place. Can we normalize safe homes? You see the way we've normalized abuse. Can we change the narrative? And that's why Usikimye is about. Usikimye is about do not be silent.
Yes.
Can we normalize safe homes? Can we normalize children growing up in love? Can we normalize children growing up without lack?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have little, you share it,
Yeah.
but not these children be beaten. Can we normalize love? Bring a good thing, and not a thing that causes people pain. And can we also normalize walking away without being judged?
True. Yeah, that for me is actually a life lesson. And well, as we say, you know, you have to see another day. It's not even about fighting for another day, it's about seeing another day and actually being alive. As you're saying, you'd rather be here than in a casket. But wow, this is really amazing what you're doing. And
no, we save men too.
yeah, yes, I was about to say.
Because you're about to say, I know you're about to ask me.
No, I mean, of course, the number. We'll
We've
get to
done
the number.
about 350 rescues.
Uh-huh.
A number of them, about 10 or so, have been done.
Oh, wow. Who are also being abused.
Most of them have been issues of where they've been sodomized, gang raped. And 2 have actually been here, where the woman is on with power, therefore she's
beating and
but then
abusing.
she wasn't, none of the women were beaten. Although moja alichapa bwana na mwiko, but they were very abusive because the men didn't have jobs and they kept on diminishing.
Yeah.
So we've also saved them. One was beaten in the mwiko, that one I can tell you. He wasn't very happy about it.
Nobody will be happy about being beaten in the
And then the wife just left him with the children.
What?
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, why not? normalize. If you're a good father, normalize taking care of your children. You know, let's stop being these people that think, oh my God, where is it? I grew up with a dad. He loved me incredibly. Yeah, and I am very secure in the fact that my father loves me. If there's something that doesn't shake me, mimi hata mtu akanitishaje, my father loves me.
Yes.
If there is something 100% guarantee, my father will never say I love you.
Yeah. But you can
I
feel
call
it.
him and I just make him very uncomfortable. I say, Daddy, I love you, and he's like,
Is that quiet?
Same. Amma says, noted.
Noted with thanks.
Noted with
Kind
thanks.
regards, Dad.
I'm telling you, this is the most uncomfortable. But if there is something I am secure about, is my father's incredible love for me.
Okay.
I've never doubted. This man was left to me. He was young. He was a young man. He was 28, I think, when my mother left. And my father did not take me to his mother. My father decided, this is my child. This is my child. I'm taking care of her. And I'm telling you, Juicy, when we went to bury my mother, my grandmother, everyone was telling me, Njeri, stop holding your father's hand. You're now a big woman. You have your own children. Because people don't believe I hung around my dad. I hold his hand. As in, I can literally, I grew up with my dad. Tunaenda kwa baba moja, he sits on his sinatabu, he drinks his taska, I sit on mine, I drink my sodas. If he orders, I order. Akioda ingine na order. Like that. It was a competition. So we had fun. And that's what I thought fatherhood was about. That's why for me, there's no excuse for not being a good father. Because that was not the age where, I mean, it was in the 80s and 90s. That was not the age where fathers took care of their children. Your girl child kwanza. My dad is a hero. He took care of me. And everybody knew the two of us. We were always together. Together. You know? And even now, I sit down with my father on the same table. I ask for my glass of wine. He asks for his taska. The same dynamic.
The game goes on.
Different people. And it's a very...
And that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to grow in love together.
Exactly. So let's also normalize that fathers can be given their children to take care of. And not molest them.
True.
And not abuse them. And you don't necessarily... I'm not saying you should be married. By all means married. But I'm also saying, take care of your children. They're also your responsibility. This idea that only mothers can take care of their children, not it. Let anybody who feels they have the will and the power to take good care of their children, take care of them. We have good fathers out here, and you have to hand it out to them. But it's not a medal. Those are your children. Take care of them.
Okay, now because Njeri needs to go to hospital, we shall end this here for now. But I shall share the details and of what she needs, similar to what we did with our mother's Angel Center for Abandoned Children. We'll also share the list, how you can donate, whether it's through Mpesa, through kind, or even giving a phone call and asking her maybe what they did for that day, or even coming to just visit and give support in one way or another. So thank you very much. Keep on keeping on. We shall definitely support you, and we'll be back again.
Sure.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure today, and you lady. Oh.
It's okay.
It's okay. We'll edit out.
Because I don't remember her name. So I don't know why her name disappeared. I was so excited about meeting her. And she told me such exciting things. Anything that empowers survivors for me is exciting. So getting training for them, for me, that's my heart. She does not even know she's done.
No, it's going to be all right at the end. It's all going to be good. So thank you very much.
Asanteni. Stop.